Horton Hatches an Egg by Dr. Seuss. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg.
I'm tired, and I'm bored, and I have kinks in my legs from just sitting here, day after day. It's work. I hate it. I'd much rather play. If I could only find someone, I would go and relax.
Then Horton the elephant passed by her tree.
Hello.
Called the lazy bird, smiling her best.
You've nothing to do, and I need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest?
The elephant laughed.
Why have all silly things? I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me sit on your egg? Why, it doesn't make sense. Your egg is so tiny and I'm so immense.
Tut, tut,
answered Maisie.
I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it, no trouble at all.
I can't.
Said the elephant.
Please?
Begged the bird.
I won't be gone long, sir. I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed.
Very well.
Said the elephant.
Since you insist, I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say.
Yes! On my vacation. Oh, sorry.
You were already packed? What temperature do I keep the egg at?
Sang out Maisie and fluttered away. Then carefully, tenderly, gently he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Then Horton the elephant smiled.
I'm sorry.
And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat all that day, and he kept the egg warm, and he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened, it thundered, it rumbled.
This isn't much fun.
The poor elephant grumbled. He wished she'd come back. He was so cold and wet. He hoped that the Maisie bird wouldn't forget. But Maisie, by this time, was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest.
Why, I'll think I'll never go back to my nest.
I heard that.
So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn. The leaves blew away, and then came the winter, the snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting, and he said with a sneeze,
I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%.
So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through. And then came the springtime with troubles anew. For while Horton sat there so patient, so kind, a hunter came sneaking up softly behind. He heard the man's footsteps. He turned with a start. A rifle was aiming right straight at his heart. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held up his head and he threw out his chest, and he looked at the hunter as much as to say,
Shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%.
But the man didn't shoot, much to Horton's surprise. He lowered his gun and he stared with wide eyes. How strange, how amazing, how wonderful, new. I don't think I'll shoot him. Here's just what I'll do. I'll
That's
take him
mine, though.
alive. Yeah, he's terribly funny. And
How strange, how amazing, how wonderful, new. I don't think I'll shoot him. Here's just what I'll do. I'll take him alive. Why, he's terribly funny.
No, you won't.
And sell him back home to a circus for money.
What?
Don't I get to say so?
Oh,
I'm
there we
not
go.
going nowhere.
There we go, elephant.
But I'm not leaving this egg
Up,
either.
up over the mountains, 10,000 feet high. Then down the mountains, Over the sea went the hunter, the elephant, egg, nest, and tree.
I'm an elephant. What can I say?
Bring it back, Ben. This is why you shouldn't
You're
have done dress
expecting
rehearsal
feathers?
with us.
That's getting edited out in post.
Thank you. The egg, nest, and tree.
Magically come in there.
Then sold to a circus. Hold on. Can we?
Yeah.
Hold on.
We can add that.
Wait, what?
Good try.
Did you cut?
To a circus. And week after week they showed him to people, $1 a peek. And everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laugh at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he said as he sat in that hot, noisy tent,
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. Although we're rethinking that.
one day when the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not so far from Palm Beach, dawdling along way up high in the sky, who of all people should chance to fly by but that old good-for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie?
I'm still on vacation.
Yeah, and still just as lazy. And spying the flags in the tents just below, she sang out,
What fun, right? I'll go to the show.
then she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door.
Good gracious! I've seen you before.
Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out the noisiest ear-splitting squeak from the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild alive scratching,
My egg!
shouted Horton.
My egg, why it's hatching?
It's my egg.
Screamed Maisie.
You stole it from me. Get off of my nest and get out of my tree.
Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart, but at that very instant the egg burst apart. And out of the pieces of pearly white shell, from the egg that he'd sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something
got
whiz.
ears.
It had feathers, a beak, but ears just like his. My goodness, my gracious, people shouted, my word, it's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. Horton meant what he said, and he said what he meant, and they sent him home happy, 100%.
100% my butt.
Fly, Adelaide.
Cue music.
Who's this? James Faithful.
Evelyn.
And Abby's not my baby anymore.
It's not my baby.
Oh, what is that baby? Oh, I think we can